right, it's time for some real education. And if Katie were here, she'd feed me my setup. So I'm going to feed myself and feed it to you today, focusing on the marble bust of a man from the middle of the 1st century AD, which currently resides in the Metropolitan Museum of Art in New York City. And there's the picture. Give us a little close-up, Mike. Really remarkable. The Romans were incredibly talented to take marble and to do this. This looks like your grandfather. This looks like the skill and the craftsmanship that's done on this face to carve out in marble this way is an astonishing achievement. Although the surface of this piece has been strongly cleaned and even recut in certain places, evidence of a heavy dark incrustation formed during centuries of burial is still visible. In fact, look at there, that crusted, you can sort of see it. It's as if the sculptor sculpted the image after one day's growth of hair, right? This is the incrustation. This is a matter of how the statue had been buried for a long time, that the head looks like it's a little grimy, that looks like there's, but from our perspective, it could also be a man who shaved a day or two ago, shaved his head. And the heads, you can see it's almost as if the hair is starting to grow back. But look at the jowl muscles from, stay on the profile here for a moment. Look at those jowl muscles. Right? This clearly, we don't know who this is. It's a bust of a man. It could be somebody's grandfather. It could be a Roman senator. It could be a great Roman centurion or general. All we know about this is the firmness, the resolution of the face, that squarely set jaw, those tensed muscles in the cheeks, the piercing stare, that Roman aquiline nose. Private portrait sculpture like this was most closely associated with funerary contexts, so it's most likely a death mask or a death celebration. Funerary altar and tomb structures were adorned with portrait reliefs of the deceased, along with short inscriptions noting their family and patrons, or portrait busts accompanied cinerary urns that were deposited in the niches of large communal tombs known as columbaria. The funeral context for portrait sculpture was rooted in the long-standing tradition of display of wax portrait masks called imagines in funeral processions of the upper classes to commemorate their distinguished ancestry. Now go back to the front profile again. In the Roman Republic, which lasted from about 750 BC all the way to about 30 AD, almost 700 plus years of a Roman Republic. In the Republic, public sculpture included honorific portrait statues of political officials or military commanders erected by the orders of their peers in the Senate. These statues were typically erected to celebrate a noted military achievement, usually in connection with an official triumph, or to commemorate some worthy political achievement, such as the drafting of a treaty. A dedicatory inscription, called a cursus honorum, detailed the subject's honor's life and achievements, as well as his lineage and his notable ancestors. These inscriptions typically accompanied public portraits and were uniquely Roman features of commemoration. One last look at that picture from the front. Notice what the Romans didn't do. They didn't work on eyeballs. The eyes are white slates of marble, which makes the picture more imposing, more distant from us, less human in some ways, but still compelling.